Hello. Wow, this is a surprise. Welcome, everybody. This is the second week of November, and it looks like we're back on Zoom through Canvas. I got my hair fixed today, so I'm looking a little bit different, but just sipping my tea and waiting to see if Zoom was going to work or not. Looks to me like we're working and we're ready to go. So, hi, everybody. It's good to see you again. We'll go right into it. Second week of November, starting with the 8th of November, the X-ray machine was discovered on that day, discovered or invented in 1895. So we've had X-rays around for about 130 years. On the 9th, the Holocaust began in Germany, which was the capture, concentration, and extermination of the Jewish people by the Nazis. The 10th is when Sesame Street debuted in 1969. And also the first iPod was sold in 2001. The 11th is Young Readers Day, Remembrance Day in Canada, and we call it Veterans Day, where we acknowledge the living and the dead, veterans who have served our country. The 12th is Elizabeth Cady Stanton's birthday. She was a women's rights leader and she was born in 1815. Helped lead towards getting the women's vote. The 13th, Moms and Dads Day, and the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was dedicated in 1982 in Washington, D.C. And if you've seen it, it's beautiful. It's very solemn, very sobering, and well worth seeing. And you may find the names of people you knew on that memorial etched into the black ebony. The 14th is National Clean Out Your Refrigerator Day. And the 15th is when the wonderful artist Georgia O'Keeffe was born in 1887, who did the larger than life paintings of objects around the Southwest. Skulls of old cattle and gorgeous flowers, life size as big as buildings. All right, well, let's look at 21 ways, weird ways that our world changes during the autumn. Okay, are you ready for this? Why do leaves change color? Why are babies born in the autumn smarter? That might be you. And why does half the world enjoy mating season in unexpected ways every fall? And we'll try to keep this from getting X-rated, okay? All right. During the gray squirrel's fall season, when the critters are burying nuts and seeds in hundreds of scattered caches or little storage units to serve as emergency winter larders, a typical squirrel shows a 15% increase in its size. And here's a picture, kind of hard to see, but there he is, and he's nibbling on some goodies. But if you're not a squirrel, don't fret. Human children born in autumn, September, October, November, are more likely to excel in school than those born at other times of the year, according to a United Kingdom Department of Education report. Also, fall babies are more likely to live longer, so they're smarter and they live longer. They can live to be 100, and they are much more likely to reach the age of 100 than babies born other times of the year, according to a University of Chicago study of 1,500 people who made it to 100. One theory suggests that exposure to seasonal infections, especially in summer, early in life, can have a long-lasting effect on health because you build up that lifelong immunity. And here's the candles on a cake. Looks to me like that cake is on fire. Autumn is also good for the economy, at least in colorful leaf states like New Hampshire and Vermont. Leaf peeping, which is the slang term for being a tourist and looking at fall leaves, is a $3 billion business in New England. Millions of out-of-state visitors flock to take in the changing colors, and they're definitely already back there this year. Well, global warming may affect the fall colors. Scientists think that the rich reds, oranges, and yellows of fall may be one of the many casualties in the future of global warming. Leaves change color in part because of cues taken from dropping temperatures. But as temperatures remain warmer through fall and winter nights, they could delay the beloved color shift. One 2013 study found the fall colors now arrive 5 days later than they did 23 years ago. But let's not lose any sleep over that yet, shall we? Fall leaf color is actually present all year round, but just under the surface. The sunlight helps fuel the plant cells containing a chemical called chlorophyll, which keeps the leaves a vivid green. And chlorophyll is what helps the leaves turn sunlight into energy for the plant. When the sunlight diminishes in the fall because of shorter days and cooler weather and cloudier skies, the chlorophyll breaks down, letting the plant's hidden red, yellow, and orange shine. Beautiful way for us to enjoy it. And then also, we find that sex drive spikes in the fall. Testosterone levels in both men and women spike higher in the autumn than at any other time of year. Also, men find women even more attractive than during the summer. And we find that September is the most popular birth month of the year. Now, why is this? Does this mean that humans have a mating season like other animals? Also, love is on the air. More people start getting together and finding new partners in the fall than at any other time of the year. They change their status from single to in a relationship or engaged. And also more breakups happen during the summer. And why is that so official? Because Facebook says so. And animals are supposed to go through the same thing, mating in the fall, and maybe many of the babies are born in the spring. Meanwhile, monarch butterflies, those beautiful orange and black butterflies, make autumn a migratory season. They fly south from America to the relative warmth of Mexico and lower California, traveling at speeds between 12 and 25 miles per hour. They're the only insect that migrates up to 2,500 miles for nicer weather. You go, monarchs. That's really pretty good. Now, autumn used to not be called autumn. It used to be called harvest up until around the year 1500. Autumn was just called harvest. The full moon closest to the autumn equinox is known as a harvest moon. Before cities began using electricity, the bright night of the harvest moon was essential for farmers who had to work late getting out there and trying to bring in their crops before the snows would hit. What other things do we know? Well, we know that the autumn equinox, which is usually September 22nd or 23rd, is one of 2 days a year, 2 days, when the sun is exactly in line with the Earth's equator. It's straight up, the Earth is straight up. And during the summer, it's tilting towards the lighter, the sun in the northern hemisphere. In the winter, it's tilting the other way, so it's cooler, away from the sun. The word equinox comes from the Latin meaning equal night. And then one of the oldest autumn festivals, I don't think we really talked about this last week, is Mexico's Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead, November 1st and 2nd, a celebration of departed loved ones in the cycle of life that many Mesoamerican cultures have observed for thousands of years. And here's some of the skulls that they have painted. And they kind of put a humorous twist to it, definitely an artistic twist to it. And pumpkins, one of the most iconic images of autumn, are grown on 6 of the 7 continents. Can you guess which one does not grow pumpkins? That's right, Antarctica. The word pumpkins comes from the Greek word pepon, which means large melon. And here you can see some very large pumpkins. Although now at the supermarket, I see them in green and black and blue and red and orange and speckled and striped and all kinds of things. But did you know that in spite of how much we love autumn, some places never get to see it? Autumn is a fact of life for most of us, but in tropical climates near the equator, like the Caribbean islands, the weather stays beautifully mild year long. Temperatures in Puerto Rico, for example, range from 75 to 85, day in, day out, all year long. These places might be warm, but they don't get to experience why fall, according to many of us, is the best season of the year. And I have some gorgeous pictures to show you. Shows the beautiful fall. Country Magazine. Beautiful, beautiful pictures. And then the old Art magazine before was called Modern Maturities. This is when my grandmother gave me some of these gorgeous pictures to collect. Just have to love it. Now I want to move on and talk about one of the biggest events this week, which is Veterans Day on the 11th. This is when we remember our veterans, the dead, and even more now, the living. United States Congress passed a resolution 7 years in 1926, requesting that President Calvin Coolidge issue a proclamation. This was way past the Civil War, which had done this a little bit in certain states. And the Congress said, we want appropriate ceremonies. And this was just 7 years after the end of World War I. So by the time they got it all figured out, May 13, 1938, made the 11th of November in each year a legal holiday, quote, a day to be dedicated to the cause of world peace and be celebrated as Armistice Day. In 1945, World War II veteran Raymond Weeks from Alabama wanted to expand Armistice Day to celebrate all veterans, not just those who died in World War I. So there was a delegation to General Dwight Eisenhower, who supported the idea of National Veterans Day. And then Weeks led the first national celebration in 1947 and every year until his death in 1985. President Reagan honored Weeks at the White House with the Presidential Citizenship Medal in 1982. Elizabeth Dole determined that Weeks should be known as Father of Veterans Day. Because it's a federal holiday, many American workers and students get Veterans Day off from work or school. Non-essential federal government offices are closed. And people are very sensitive about this day. It's getting bigger and bigger. We're bringing back parades and honoring veterans. Right now we're pinning with the 50th anniversary remembrance of the ending of the Vietnam War. And we know we're losing many of our Vietnam veterans, not just the World War II or Korean vets. And so we are trying to recognize as many veterans, the living as well as the dead. And I have a picture here that Norman Rockwell made of a World War II veteran when he came home. I love this picture, how he's helping his mother do something as simple as shelling the peas. Boy, I know how she feels. She's so glad he's home. And I'm glad that my children who served in the military are safely home as well. I have a poem to share with you. Just give me a minute here. This was written by John Gillespie McGee Jr., a Canadian. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things. Excuse me. You have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence, hovering there. I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue. I've topped the wind-swept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind I've trod the untrespassed high sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. When he was 18 years old, he entered flight training and was sent to England in 1941. He flew the Spitfire, being promoted to the rank of pilot officer. German bombers were crossing the English Channel regularly to attack Britain's cities and factories. On September 3, 1941, McGee flew a Spitfire 5 test flight, which inspired him to write his poem. That same day, he wrote a letter to his parents, which included this now famous poem. 3 months later, on December 11, 1941, 3 days after the U.S. entered the war, and 4 days after Pearl Harbor, John Gillespie McGee Jr. was killed. He was just 19 years old, and he lies in a churchyard cemetery at Scopwick, Lincolnshire, in England. God bless him, and God bless our many, many veterans. And I have a map that shows where all the veterans are located. The dark areas show the ones with the most. And you can see that California has more veterans than any other state in the United States. And there are many, many veterans memorials. People build memorials to remember loved ones or honor those who have given special service to their community. There's the Korean War Veterans Memorial with figures of soldiers spread out as if on patrol. There's a memorial honoring the Spanish-American War, which began in 1898, and it is in the Los Angeles National Ceremony. The Doughboy honors the soldiers of World War I, and that is in Vinton, Virginia. And the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was designed as a place of healing in Washington, D.C., and to remember those who died or are missing. The main part of this memorial is made of 2 black granite panels, in which are written nearly 60,000 names of servicemen and women killed or missing. And I know some of those people. And here we see the top one, and we see some of the others here as well. And you see some other memorials. So I want you to get a look at, of course, the one in Hawaii, which is the ship from Pearl Harbor. And there are others throughout the country in honor of our nurses, our military people. And another one about the history of the salute. The long-held custom of removing hats in which superiors were present has evolved in today's salute when it's too cumbersome to remove the headgear. The men are ordered not to pull off their hats when they pass to speak to them, but only to clap their hands to their hats and bow as they pass. That's from a 1745 British order book. In 1700, some soldiers wore tall, elaborate hats with chin straps. Instead of removing the hats, the soldiers made the gesture of touching the hat, and that became a formal salute in about 1780 and has spread ever since then. And by the way, wanted to let you know that the birthday of the U.S. Marines is November 10th, the day before Veterans Day, and many times the 2 days are honored and celebrated together. And in closing, I want to talk about another significant day this week. Daylight savings time is changing this year on Sunday at 2 a.m., Sunday the 7th. Daylight savings time has been around for about 40 years, since the 1970s. In the fall, our bodies love to fall back and get an extra hour of sleep. The New England Journal of Medicine reports there are fewer heart attacks and fewer car accidents because of the extra sleep. However, there is a downside. In the spring, we lose an hour of sleep. There are more heart attacks. There are more car accidents when people lose an hour of sleep. 3 senators recently introduced a resolution to change the law and give us daylight savings time year-round, or go back to regular time schedules year-round. But it never got voted on, even though 75% of American voters favor having it one way all the time. Why doesn't it ever get changed? Because powerful lobby interest groups want to keep it just the way it is for financial reasons. What do you think? On that note, we're going to end for today. I want to say goodbye, everybody. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, going over the many different things that happen each week and what's happening in our lives. And I hope you have a great discussion today. Bye. See you next time.